Hey guys, it's Rishi once again, and today we're back with our topic, fractions of an amount. Now in this topic, I'm going to be going through a series of questions that I would like you to do alongside me. Feel free to pause the video as I go through the questions, attempt it for yourself before pressing play, where I'll be then going through the solutions. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So question number 1, find 1/6 of 420. So what does this really mean? Well, if we take a rectangle here, and if we split this up into 6 parts, we now know that we would like to find out one section out of the 6 that are available. So the best way we're going to do this is to simply divide the 420 by 6 of the sections, because that way we'll be able to work out one value of it. So we know that 420 divided by 6 is 70. And the way I've calculated that is by taking the 0 over here and simply doing 42 divided by 6, which gives me 7. So now that's my first step. Because my numerator is 1, I can simply go ahead and multiply it by 1, which gives me 70. So I now know my first answer is going to be 70. But let's now take a look at question number 2. So this states, find a quarter of 44. So once again, I can do the rectangle and I can split this into 4 equal parts. And now I know I need to work out 1 out of 4. So again, we know this equals 44. So let's take the first step where we will do 44 divided by 4, which gives me 11. And then 11 multiplied by the numerator, which is also 11. And that gives me the answer for number 2. Likewise, question number 3. I hope you guys have got the hang of it already. We simply divide 72 by the denominator, which gives us 9. And then multiply 9 by 1. And there we are. That will be 9. Again, these are self-explanatory now. The two-step method is where you divide the whole number by the denominator and then times it by the numerator. So 60 divided by 5 gives us 12, and then 12 multiplied by 1 gives us 12, and that's our answer. So this can be done mentally. And for those who want to practice their times tables or even fractions, this is definitely a very good topic here. So 48 divided by 3 gives us 16, and then 16 multiplied by the numerator is 16. Wonderful. So I hope that was a quick introduction to fractions of an amount. Let's now take this a step further. So this is now where I've changed the numerators. So there's no longer going to be 1. So again, we'll take step 1, where we have 180 divided by 4, which gives us 45. And then step 2, 45 times by 3, which gives us 135. So again, if I take a rectangle and I split this into 4 equal parts, I know I need to work out 3 out of 4 equal parts. So if we know 1 is 45, we just simply add on the 3 that we need, and that would give us 135. Likewise, we'll do the same thing for number 7. We'll have 140. We'll divide this by 5, which again will give us 28. And then number 2, we'll have 28 multiplied by the numerator, which is 2, and that gives us 56. A quick tip and trick here is when you're dividing a number by 5, you can simply go ahead and take out the 0. So we have 14 and then times it by 2, which give us 28. So again, question number 8, 2/3 of 240. So step 1, we'll divide that by 3. Again, we can take the 0 over here and have 24 divided by 3, which gives us 8, and add that 0, so 80. And then number 2, we'll have 80 multiplied by 2, which gives us 160. So we now know the answer to 2/3 of 240 is 160. So let's go ahead, attempt 9 and 10, and then we're going to go through the answers here. Okay, welcome back. Let's now go ahead and solve these questions. So step 1, 72 divided by the denominator, which gives us 12, and then 12 multiplied by the numerator gives us 60. So now we know that is 60. Likewise for question 10, we'll have 56 divided by 7, which gives us 8. And 8 times by 3 is 24. And there we are. Okay, you should now be an expert in this field. And if you're not, don't worry. Go ahead and repeat these questions so you can get more practice. But we're now going to move into more problem-solving questions. And let's begin. Okay, so Holly is thinking of a number. 3/4 of Holly's number is 39. So work out the number Holly is thinking of. So we don't really know the number. So I'm going to simply write out that 3/4 of n equals 39. So now, because 3/4 equals 39, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And by doing this, I will now get 1/4 equals 13. Because I've done 3 divided by 3, which is 1, and 39 divided by 3, which is 13. I've then gone ahead and multiplied this by 4, so times both sides by 4. So I'm now left with 4 over 4 equals 52. And by doing so, I now know that my final answer is going to be 52. So now if we go ahead and replace n with 52, let's go ahead and work this out. So we'll have 52 divided by 4, which gives me 13. And then 13 multiplied by 3, which is 39. So we now know 3/4 of 52 will give me 39. I hope that was clear. So once again, what did I do? I found out that we had 3/4 and it equaled 39. And I found that the common number between those two was the number 3. So then I went ahead and divided both sides by 3. Now I've done that. I've got 1/4 equals 13. And then I've multiplied it by 4. And I've got my answer. Okay, question number 12. So 2/5 of a number is 18. Find the value of n. So again, I know that 2 over 5 of n equals 18. So if I divide both sides by 2, I know I'll have 9 and 1 over 5. So now I know that 1 over 5 equals 9. And I know that it's out of 5, which is my denominator. So I'll simply multiply these two. So now I know 9 times 5 equals 45. And that is my answer. So again, if I draw this in more visual format here, we've got 5 spaces. And we know that 2 over 5 equals 18. So now what I've done is I've divided them both by 2. So now I've got 1 equals 9. So if one of them equals 9, then all I would need to do is multiply this by 5, and that gives me 45 in total. Okay, question number 13. So this time, so it's the same step. We're going to find the value of 1 over 6, and then we're going to multiply it by 6 to get us the total value. So again, we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 equals 30. So what are we going to do here now? We're going to divide 30 by 5. And then step 2, we're going to have 6 times 6 equals 36. So if you guys may have noticed, we're doing the inverse operation here. In the previous questions, we would usually divide by the denominator and then times by the numerator. But now we're doing the opposite. We are simply dividing by the numerator and then timesing by the denominator. Wonderful. So our answer is 36. I hope those steps were clear. Let's now move over to the next section. So question 14. Work out the difference between 25 and 2 over 9 of 18. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out what 2 over 9 of 81 is. So now I know I divide by the denominator and times by the numerator. So I know that 2 over 9 of 81 is 18. I then have to find the difference between 25 and 18. So I'll go for 25 minus 18, which gives me 7. And so that is my difference. Okay, question 15. Work out the difference between 3/8 of 32 and 2/5 of 40. So let's take this way. And let's go for 32 divided by 8 gives us 4. And then 4 times by 3, which gives us 12. And why don't you give it a go for the next one? Okay, that's your 10 seconds up. So step 1, you should have done 40 divided by 5, which gives us 8. And then 8 times by 2, which gives us 16. So now if we're finding the difference, remember the difference is subtraction. So we will then have 16 minus 12 gives us 4. And that's our answer. And remember, if you thought, okay, well, 12 comes first, so isn't it 12 take away 16, which gives us minus 4? Well, not really. We're just looking for the difference in both numbers. So you would do the largest number, take away the smallest number in all occasions. Okay, question 16. Once again, we're now being introduced to percentages here. So again, we can go ahead and work out 10%. So we know 90 equals 100%. So if we divide both by 10, we will then get 9 equals 10%. We're looking for 20%, so we can simply double it, and so we'll get 18 as our 20%. And then again, for this section here, we'll have 49 divided by 7 equals 7, and then 7 times by 3 equals 21. So now we've got 18 and 21. Again, we're looking for the difference, so we'll have 21 take away 18, which gives us 3. So now our difference is 3, and that's the subtraction. Wonderful. Let's go for question 17. Okay, so there are 924 people in a theatre, and 383 are men, and 356 of them are women. And so it states that 2/5 of the children are boys. So how many girls are there in the theatre? So let's now go ahead and find out how many adults there are in total. So I'm going to take this here and let's add them together. So we know there's 739 adults here. Out of the adults, we now need to work out how many children there are. So I'll take my total value, which is 924, and I'll subtract 739. So again, we can't do 4 take away 9, so I'll borrow from the 2. So now that becomes 14. So I'll have 14 take away 9, which gives us 5. And then again, we have to borrow because 1 cannot take away 3, so that 9 becomes an 8, and we now have 11. So 11 take away 3 gives us 8, and 8 take away 7 gives us 1. So we now have 185 children. And now out of those children, we know the total is 5, as that is our denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and label this step 1, step 2, and let's go for step 3, where we have 185 divided by 5. Well, we know 5 goes into 18 3 times, and we have a 3 remainder here. And so 5 times 7 is 35. So we now know that 1/5 of 185 equals 37. But because 2/5 are boys, we need to work out the remainder. So 5 out of 5 is our total. Take away 2/5, which are boys, will be leaving you with 3/5, which are girls. So now this is what we need to work out. So again, we'll go with 37 times by 3, which will give us 111. And that is now 3/5 of 185 equals 111. So where did I get 37 from? Well, we know that 37 is equal to 1/5. So if I times this by 3, that will give me 3/5. So our overall answer is going to be 111. Okay, we are almost done. You're doing really well. So let's keep it up. Okay, question 18. The normal price of a computer game is £40, and it's been reduced by 1/5 in a sale. So again, if we take 1/5 of 40, what do we need to do? Divide by the denominator and times by the numerator. So 40 divided by 5 gives us 8 times 1, which is also 8. So now we know it's been reduced. We need to work at the price of the computer game. So 40 take away 8 will now give us 32. So our final answer is £32. Don't forget to pause the video at any moment in time. Even if you want to go back in the video, pause it before I attempt it. And once you have your answer, feel free to press play, where we will then go through the solutions. Okay, question 19. There are 1,100 students at a school, and 540 students are girls. So straight away, I'm going to subtract this, which now will give me 560, and that's going to be boys. It then states that 1/10 of the girls are left-handed. So we know that 540 are girls. So 1/10 of 540. Once again, we have 540 divided by 10 gives us 54. We can then times it by 1, and we know that's 54. And then it states that 1/8 of the boys are left-handed. So I'm going to do the same for the boys, and we know that's going to be out of 560. So 560 divided by 8. Again, as we know, we can take the 0 over, and we have 56 divided by 8, which is 70. It's then asking us to work out the number of left-handed students in the school. So we just need to go ahead and add both of our figures. So we have 54 plus 70, which gives us 124. So our answer here is 124. Okay, let's move over to question 20. So Harry has 50 sweets, and he gives 2/5 of the sweets to Sandra, and he gives 3/5 of the sweets to Jamie. And then Harry keeps the rest of the sweets for himself. So we need to work out how many sweets Harry has. Let's now work out 2/5 of 50. So once again, we'll have 50 divided by 5, which gives us 10. And then times that by 2, which is our numerator. So we have 20. We'll then calculate 3/10 of 50. So again, 50 divided by 10, which gives us 5, times it by 3, and that's 15. So now we know he's given 20 to Sandra and 15 to Jamie. So in total, that's 35 given away. So now he had 50 in total. So we'll have 50 take away 35, which gives us 15 left. So Harry gets to keep 15 sweets. Okay, over to the last 2 questions now. You've done really well if you've come this far. Remember, practice makes improvement. So it's absolutely fine if you want to go ahead and rewind the video or watch it from the beginning. This will only make you stronger and more prepared. Okay, 21. The normal price of a train ticket from Ashford to London is £34.20. And Ross gets a third off the price. So again, as we've done throughout this video, we need to work out 1/3 of £34.20. So I'll start off with dividing it by 3. So let's go ahead and do this on the side here. And as you've noticed, I've removed the decimal place. So let's see how we can get this done here. Well, we know 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 4 once, with the remainder of 1. So we'll put the 1 just in front of the 2 to make 12. And so we know that 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 doesn't go into 0, so we've put a 0 there. So now we've calculated that. That's our first step. The second step is now finding out where our decimal point will go. Well, the first instance is that we know it was 2 numbers before. So likewise, for our answer here, we know we've got 1140. So I'm going to put the decimal 2 places before the end. So now we know it's £11.40. Now I've gone ahead and done that. We now need to subtract this from the total cost, which was £34.20. So again, we've got 0 for that point there. Again, we cannot do 2 take away 4, so I'll borrow from the 4, and we'll do 12 take away 4, which gives us 8, 3 take away 1, which is 2, and 3 take away 1, which is 2. So our overall price will be £22.80 after taking a third off the original price. Okay, let's go over to the final question. Question 22. So Stan has an income of £2,000 a month, and he spends 2/5 of his income on rent. So again, we'll have 2,000, we'll divide it by our denominator, which is 400, and then times that by 2, which will give us 800. So we now know he spends £800 on rent. but he then spends 3 out of 20 on bills. So again, I'm going to take my 2,000, divide it by 20, which then is 100, and then times that by 3, which is 300. So we now know he spends 300 on bills. And then finally, we'll have 2,000 divided by 10, which is 200, and times that by 1, which is 200. So now we've calculated how much he spends on rent, bills, and food. But then he saves the rest of his income. So let's now work out how much he saves each month. So let's add up this section here, which is now £1,300, and we'll subtract it from 2,000. And that gives us £700 that he saves. So then we've done income, take away expenditure, which gives us how much he saves, and that is our answer. And that concludes our video. I hope those set of questions were clear. We've now gone through the topic of fractions of an amount, where we've touched on a number of different questions ranging from finding 1/6 or 1/4 of a number. Again, you've seen the two-step process that I've followed here, where you divide by the denominator and times by the numerator. I've then gone ahead and made this a little bit more complex by changing the numerator value before diving into more problem-solving questions, where you no longer have a number and where you have to use different methods to find the difference of a whole number or a fraction or even a percentage. So like I said to you before, feel free to watch the video once more, attempting these questions as I go on to them, before pressing play to see if you've then gone ahead and got the same results. I can't wait to show you the value of the other videos that I've been recording for you guys. So keep up the great work, and please don't forget to comment and subscribe to our channel for more useful content, and comment below if you have any questions for us or any feedback or advice that you'd like to share. See you in the next video.